Hi fish keeping Jamaica, this is Rally here with another video. Hope that you are interested in. This is a video which is aimed at looking at to decorate or not to decorate your fish pond. Stay tuned. Hello, welcome to my channel. It's fish keeping Jamaica. Today I'll be looking at the topic to decorate or not to decorate. That's your tank or your ponds. Now, as you all know, for those persons who have been following my videos, I love ponds. I have more ponds than tanks, and today we'll be looking at should we decorate or should we not. Now, several different species are liking the whole idea of having decorated tanks, because some of them are shy, while some of them are life bearers or even egg-laying species, and they use the decoration as a means of actually breeding. Let's, for example, look at these swordtails. Now, these are my swordtails. I usually separate the babies. I usually have them in a special container and separate them whenever the mother push them out, but I have stopped doing that a couple months now. Now look, what the young one does is to actually hide in the roots. Here I have one. Hide in the roots of the plants, so the adults that are at the bottom, there's another young one. The adults that is at the bottom or even swims at the top doesn't get the opportunity to consume them. Right, so there you have a few more fries. Right, okay, this is some air in which I use. Braided hair, like when females braid their hair and they take it out. This is the hair I use. Right, I place it at the side of the pond, and whenever the babies are actually born, what happens is that they go into the air and wait until they reach certain size before they actually present themselves to the parent or the adults, which will consume them. Now, this is another fish pond. Notice you have some fries at the sides. Some of them actually move with the roots, and this is a risk I'm actually running, because what happened is that I'm exposing them to the adults, which will actually, these are fries. The fries actually hide the roots of the plant, so the adults don't get them. So if I overexpose them, the adults will actually just come up and consume them. Right, this is what happened. Now, let's look at my guppies. My guppies is a similar thing. The tank is a little dark, but here also is placed in it for breeding purposes. I don't know if you saw that Daphne a while ago. Here, there's it, Daphne. Yeah, that's a Daphne. Right, it's living in the air, and some of the time the adult guppies will go after the Daphne and end up consuming a fry or two. Right, never mind the consumption of guppy fries. Guppy fries, like guppies, like have babies like once every 30 days. Right, so this is what happened. Right, so these fish, live bearers, they are exposed to male and female. Male and female both go together and they procreate, increasing the stock brood. Yes, and at the same time they have to minimize the amount of mouth in the tank, because the more mouth in the tank means less actual food for them, so they will actually consume. So these are my black skirt tetra and my my filament barb and my tiger barb. Now these are open swimmers, so they don't hide in the branches or in the roots of the plants. What they do is to actually swim in the middle of the tank or the pond or whatever you have. They lay the eggs and the eggs fall to the ground or to the base of the tank or the pond, right? And they will eventually swim down to the base looking for the egg and consume them. Okay, I'm trying to get some more examples of fish actually hiding in the roots. Here you have some more. If you look good, you see as I move the vegetation, the fish is actually hiding, right? Because you have adults that exist in it, one you consume them. So too within your tank. Now it can be really annoying when persons come visit you and they see your tank and they're asking, where is the fish? The fish might be, want to come out of the public eye, or tired or stressed, so you might go into a corner to hide. But you might say, persons might say that, isn't this tank here for show? So why is it that they are hiding? Here are some more fries hiding in the roots. And also adults, you might find one or two adults in the roots also, or below the roots, because it actually shades them from the sun. So that's another advantage of having decoration in your pond, right? It actually shades from the sun. It depends on your location of your fish tank or your fish pond, right? My goldfish, which is here, I'm presently changing water, right? They, unlike the guppies or the mollies or the swordtail, which have babies live, they have babies via egg. Their eggs float, unlike the tiger barb and the filament barb and the rosy barb. Their eggs float, and when their eggs float, they have a sticky substance on it which actually sticks to the surface of whatever it touches first, right? So after they have finished laying their eggs, what will happen is that the goldfish, if it's just a pair in it, they will go around and they will nibble or eat at the eggs, right? So therefore it's always advised that if you know that your fish is spawning and you really want to spawn the eggs to turn to fry to become fish eventually, it's best if you actually take out the adults, or should I say the parents. Now some persons like the whole idea of decorating their ponds or their tanks. However, it can prove detrimental to the fish. Why? Because decorating your tank, you have to be aware, you have to do research as to the type of fish you have. If you notice my Oscar tank, let me show you. Jack Dempsey's or other fish such as the pleco, the Oscar is an open water swimmer. It mostly occupies between mid to upper level of your tank or your pond. Now what will happen is that your tank or your pond, whenever this fish is ready to spawn, you'll find a flat area, and both male and female will clean the flat area, lay the eggs and guard the eggs. Now unlike the Jack Dempsey does the same thing, but what happens is that the eggs are carried in the mouth, and they love piping. They like somewhere to hide. Goldfish ponds or tanks doesn't need much decoration. The goldfish tanks or ponds doesn't need much decoration. Even koi just need an open space to swim, because they love to swim and they love to swim together. So even if you have a few vegetation, probably some sand or probably a little stone or two in the tank, the whole fandangles of having different decoration might just cause the fish to harm itself. Why? Noise or movement, the fish actually hear or interpret will result in the fish actually moving swiftly, not really looking at where he or she is going. As a result of that, the fish might just stick himself or herself, or should I say itself, in some of those fancy decorations you purchased and placed in your tank. Now this may result in the fish getting injured, getting infested by different bacteria, which eventually will make the fish sick and prone to illnesses. So when looking at decoration of tanks, one must be careful as to what you use. Is the decoration suitable for that type of fish? For example, if you're gonna take a piece of stick out of the yard, let me show you. If you're gonna take a piece of stick out of the yard, wash it off and clean it and place it into your tank, you might meet up in a problem. The stick or the board should be of such that it doesn't have sharp edges. I have done that. I have actually used sandpaper, sand down some roots in which I've gotten from a tree that was dead, right? And I place it into the tank of my plecos, because the pleco will die if they do not have some means of tree roots or I call it now wood to actually munch on. I cannot tell you the scientific reasons why, but it is vital for their survival. Now, fish such as the Jack Dempsey, they love to have caves, right? Also, plecos love to have caves. So what I did with my pond is to actually place a few cinder blocks into my pond, and at times my plecos, right, will go in them along with my Jack Dempsey's. Now if you notice in my pond, you have several pipe that have been cut, right, from 4-inch to 3-inch to 2-inch pipe, right? These pipes are placed in there intentionally for fish because these are so aggressive that they fight each other, and during the fighting a fish might realize that he or she cannot manage the other, so they run into the tubing for refuge. And we're talking about 49 Jack Dempsey here, right, in a 250-gallon tote, right, and they are getting bigger each day. Thus you can imagine after a while space will be cramped. So that too you should consider when looking at your fish pond, right? When looking at your fish tank, the type of fish it is, the movement of the fish, and whether or not it is conducive to have decoration. Now this is my filament barb tank. Now my filament barb tank, the water is green, but it's done that way intentionally because filament barbs, along with the guppies that are in it, they feed on the algae that is produced from the sunlight penetrating on the water, making it green, right? So they feed on that. So if I'm late in feeding them, I don't have to be worried myself, right? The filament barbs move very fast, and at times I believe that they move too fast. They can't even look properly as to where they are going. Sometimes what happens is that fish are swimming so fast that they even bump into the glass in which it makes the aquarium, right, which makes it really painful for them. So I can imagine they bumping into a decoration with a spike that will actually prick their scale and go down into their skin, causing infection, resulting in a horrible death, right? So for filament barbs and fast moving fish, open areas are necessary. Whilst you can put a few decorations at the bottom, right, with a little bit of sand, and probably you can get something like for example some plants or stuff in the water itself. That would be good. Planted, that would be good. But as for going to the pet shop and purchasing items that makes the tank look fancy, for example, you buy a pirate boat, you buy a sunken ship, you buy some nice big cave rock with some spikes on it, you're actually setting yourself up for accidents amongst the fish. All right, so if you notice, my tanks are totally bare bottom, and I'm not saying that you should have bare bottom tanks, but you should be mindful of the fact that bare bottom tanks allow you to see what's happening. I can identify when I am overfeeding my fish in the bare bottom tank. I see the excess food and I can easily vacuum it. For sand, yes, you can vacuum sand and gravel, but it's a lot of work, because gonna have to, at times you're going to have to move the fish. It depends on how long it takes, and you are going to have to clean that area, right? And it's what happens is that the filth goes between the rocks, the rocks and the cracks in what's at the base of your tank, and it sits there, and ammonia, nitrates and nitrites build up, and it even get more complicated when your filtration system is not one which is both mechanically and biologically filtered. Thus you have the mechanical filtration, and water is going through the system with the filth is being strained, but the filth remains in the water itself. So what that means is that although it is mechanically filtered, the filth is still in the water, and because you think that the filtration is there and oxygen is there, you feel as if that you don't need to do water change, you don't need to do the change the filter pads, so you let it remain there. But practically the water is still messy regardless of how the water might look. At times I do let down my water and I change it, right? Accidents do happen, situations do happen where you are not available to do the necessary maintenance of your tank, and that is the reason why you use channels like these, so as to find creative means of managing your tanks. Now, if I have my fish pond, right? One of the clues which tells me that my pond needs some attention is when my vegetation in my pond starts to grow excessively, right? That means that the amount of waste that is in my pond is so much that the plants are enjoying themselves more than the fish. So as a result of that, my fish is actually suffering, whether it be ammonia burn, gas poisoning, or that's just to name a few, right? I've shared with you on several locations the fact that my chromites have actually spawned in my pond. Now, if you notice, it's a pond, right? And all of this is algae on the sides. Now, my chromites, presently changing water. My chromites now, here they are. Just hopefully you can actually see the brood. They're on the right. They feed on the algae that is on the side of the pond. Now, can you imagine if I had a tank with these fries in it? It would be a very strenuous task to, one, keep the water clean, and two, provide enough food, not too much food, so for them to consume. Now, the algae, whilst this is not a video which actually looks at the advantages and disadvantages of pond and pond care and fish and all that, right? It is solely to highlight, to decorate or not to decorate. Now, the chromite eats the algae that is at the side of the pond, right? And the algae also help to maintain it helps to balance out the nitrates and the nitrites within the pond. It also helps to oxygenate the water, and thus it's what I call it now, both of them benefit each other, right? So the fish passes waste, and the waste is fed upon by the algae, and the algae provide food for the fish, and it also provide oxygen. So when talking about decorating of tanks, one must be very and ponds, one must be very careful as to the type of fish that you're using. sorry, the type of, one must be careful as to the type of fish that you're actually keeping in these tanks or ponds, because this can mean either life or death situation for the fish or the creatures that actually reside within these ponds. Alright? Being a holding tank, I choose not to decorate. However, if I had the opportunity to decorate, it would be of the least decoration as possible. One must realize that a fish needs swimming space, and with this 25 gallon tank, it doesn't give much space for these fish to be bred. These fish excrete waste very regularly, thus having a school of them like 5 or 6 would be like suicide, fish suicide, right? So what I've done is actually to just place a pipe in the tank, and the primary reason for this pipe is that whenever the fish feels as if it is insecure, it goes into the pipe, and it what call it now, it becomes a little bit more safer and calm, thus the fish is not stressed. A pump is used, right? The pump is not aesthetically beautiful, however it does what it needs to do, because at this moment the fish tank here is primarily serving the purpose of just breeding and holding the fish, right? There's no decoration. My my extra chromide that was getting beat up in the tank with the babies in, which I've just shown you, is still in this section. I have not positioned it yet into another pond. I intend to do that very shortly. School of Emperor Tetra, my one neon Tetra, and my glow Tetra are all in this 25 gallon tank. Right, they are doing good. They have been here for about 3 weeks. Why they are here so long is that I plan to use the mechanism explained in the previous video, so as to breed 1 or 2 of them. Right, they will be going outside in one of those ponds also. Right, this pond does not have much decoration, just a stone holding down the container, which acts as a vacuum as the air is blown into the pond, into the tank, and it acts as a anchor, which holds the bottle down. It vacuums the waste up, and the air gives the fish oxygen. Right, it's not aesthetically beautiful, however it does what it needs to do. Same too with my cories. If you're planning to keep cory catfish, it would be best if you use sand or bare bottom. If you put stones, it might just damage their barbels, which makes it difficult for them to survive in the pond or in the tank. Right, so I opted to use bare bottom tank for my cories. Okay, so here you have it, my cories, my manganos, my 15 tanks and ponds outside, along with my breeding basket tank. As I said before you actually decorate your tank or your pond, you have to know the type of fish you're getting, or else you may just purchase a set of fish that is expensive and you find that they die due to self-inflicted injuries, or better yet, due to other fish, still self-inflicted injuries. Okay, other fish might be running on a fish and it bounces on a little spike, a little stone, get a little cut, a little bruise, it becomes infected, then you find that it gets sick. I want to show you, I done the video done now still, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. As you enjoyed the video a while ago, let me enjoy the fact that you watch now. Subscribe, share and like. Right? Rally here for another video. Catch you next week. Peace and love. Jamaican style. Irie. Fish keeping Jamaica.